morning, Mick Ferry,
Hello.
to Bristol.
I am.
And we've got a view this
it's
time
beautiful,
as well,
isn't it?
which is lovely.
It's great.
And you're here in Bristol just to do a couple of shows. Now,
Yeah.
is this your show, or is this...
No, it's not, but it's an extended set. It's the Comedy Box down in, is it Sackville?
Yeah, just near the tobacco factory.
Good
isn't it?
room. It's good. It's usually, I mean, touch wood, I don't know if there's any wood, but it's usually a good night. But yeah, just the next, you've got to do like a 45-minute set, so...
Yeah, and I think they normally have quite a nice audience there as well.
We do, sometimes. A couple of times they've been a little bit twee.
Oh, has
Yeah.
it? It's always come across as quite a together, because they're quite accepting of alternative comedy.
They are, actually, yeah, they are. They tend to be. Depends, I think, it's one of them rooms, if there's not many in, then they get conscious of that, and...
Okay.
When you get there's a point when you get, I think, half full and over, then it's a really good room. Then, yeah.
Oh, okay. The fuller the better, or sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Luckily as well, it's not too big a room. The worst thing in stand-up is you do huge rooms that even half full look empty, and you can't blame an audience. They get conscious of the fact that I don't know what goes through their heads. They seem to think, "Oh my God, is this a terrible show that there's only half the people turned up?" Or I don't actually know these people. And they feel uncomfortable with the fact that on your behalf. Which they should really go and watch shows in Edinburgh, then they know what empty rooms are like.
Well, it's difficult for an audience, isn't it? Because they want to be on your sides, but there's only so much they can laugh.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, you have played some bigger rooms, haven't you?
Yeah, I've played some. Yeah,
because for the roadshow, what McIntyre's roadshow?
Yeah, it was the Apollo in Manchester.
Which is a massive room.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've done that before as well. I did a show there with it's a charity gig a few years ago with Steve Coogan and Peter Kay was on as well. It was actually a really good lineup. And Steve did Paul and Pauline Calf and Alan Partridge. So
oh right.
Yeah, that was just a buzz being stood next to him while he dresses Alan Partridge.
Or it's just a bit surreal.
Well, it is actually. I'd say how good he is, and it can't be good for his mental health. Just chatting, he's dressed in characters, Pauline, and just talking to him. It's weird. Stood next to who I think is possibly the greatest TV character there's ever been, comedy-wise. And you're thinking, God, it's Alan Partridge, but he's just talking like Steve Coogan, just smoking away. And then his name was announced, and then like that character. No prep, no pacing up and down, just boom, and you think, wow,
instantly it. You kind of wonder when you see a character like that if they are going to be the character when you meet them, because I think some people do that methods.
They do as well. Yeah, but I think I think probably for his own sanity he's not like that when it's only when he's performing. But the Apollo, that was that's a great room for comedy. That
it's a nice one. Yeah. So you played that one twice.
Yeah.
So. Lots of other big rooms as well, or?
No, not really. It's a big. I mean, I've played in a couple of theatres which are like 2,000 seats and that. But yeah,
it's hard. I mean, I think I was watching some sort of Apollo show, and it's just such a different feel to. I mean, when you're used to going to Edinburgh and the nice small rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, they can be empty and horrible and difficult.
Yeah.
But there's just such a different feel of it, and there's almost a bit of a delay. It doesn't quite run as smoothly.
Well, it was where I did. I think the biggest room I've done was the Manchester Evening News Arena, but that was.
You did the arena,
but it was a charity gig. It's Manchester versus Cancer, and they always have these amazing bands on, like James, and when I did it, we had to introduce. They had comics introducing various acts, so I introduced Kid British. Which is weird because they're there for a music event, so we were meant to go on for 2 minutes and be funny and introduce it. Pointless. It's pointless. But then you walk out and there's like 10,000 people and you're just looking at it and you're like, jeez. Now I watch gigs there. I've not watched comedy in there. I wouldn't watch comedy in an arena. I just don't understand.
So you've never watched any comedy there?
No, not in an arena.
No.
Why would you? You sat at the back and then you're watching it on a screen.
Yeah, it's
like a DVD. It's and there's only one act for me that's ever managed to pull off the arena type. Well, there was one American act, Steve Martin. He was doing stadiums, and I'd say probably Lee Evans because he uses. I think when you're in a room that big, I think so Lee Evans tends to use everything, the entire stage.
He's an excellent performer, isn't he? And
I
think also Tim Minchin has.
Yeah, they find a way of doing it, but he's got the I believe Bill Bailey's got a big venue because he's got all his instruments all around him. So,
I think also,
straight up stand up with just a guy in a mic.
I think you've got to be somewhat animated, and I think Michael McIntyre plays he plays an arena.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement and there's a lot of.
Yeah.
And he does try his best to try and get people involved, but then there is only so much you can do.
Listen, I'm not knocking it. If I was ever famous enough to be offered an arena tour, I'd do it. One tour, and what are you doing next year, Mick? Nothing. What's it to you?
And then you're sorted.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
I mean, but with because you did your TV appearance. Was that last year?
I did the McIntyre one. I think it was 3 years ago now, 2009. That was.
That's how time passes.
Yeah, exactly.
It? Yeah. But was it a big boost for you? That
no.
Was it? No.
Not at all. No.
Really?
A couple of people it was, but me no. One good thing, I did get a record number of complaints.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No way.
Well, it was weird on the night. I did about 20 odd minutes of material and they edited it down to 7 minutes, which I didn't want them to use.
Yeah.
I was surprised they used that because the gig had been good. And it was the
you were surprised at the 7 minutes that they used?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would have chosen a different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was the routine about getting a dog drunk. 70 odd complaints.
Right. Yeah. Which.
Animal Nation lovers, but come on, it's.
So there's an element that you feel quite proud of that in a way, or?
Sort of, yeah. But but it was a pleasure doing it. But I just think that the bit they used didn't do me justice on the night. But there's a lot of great acts who've done it. It's not really. I think to get the kickstart on the TV thing, you need to, in a short space of time, pop up on Buzzcocks, 8 out of 10 cats. Have I got news for you? Then the Apollo. You can do that in a short space of time, and you've hit the. Yeah.
And have you done, or does it appeal to you doing those panel shows?
Yeah, there's a couple I'd like to do. The one I really like at the minute, it's the only one I like, is Celebrity Juice.
Yeah.
The reason being is just childish.
So good.
Just childishly funny. I quite like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing pompous about it. It's like being a kid in a schoolyard watching it.
No, I saw it. I think I saw it for the first time the other day.
Really?
And it's just so good, but it is very much Keith Lemon.
Oh, of course it is. It's entirely his show. Yeah.
But that's what I liked about Buzzcocks when Simon Amstel did it.
Yeah.
Is that he owned it.
Well, Mark Lamar is still the daddy of that show. Mark Lamar is still. Yeah.
When you think of Buzzcocks, you think back to
Mark Lamar. Yeah, he was fantastic. Yeah.
He was. Yeah. But I think Amstel did a good job of taking it over and making it different.
Making it his own. Well, it was a difficult thing to take over. That's been going now for about. How long has it been going? About 18 years or something like that? It's getting on for 20 years, near enough. Yeah. It was the early 90s it started. It's a hell of a long time for a panel show, yeah.
Which is great, yeah. But then there is kind of so many around now that we're getting a bit saturated, maybe.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous what people fall for as well. I did a silly joke on Twitter about a year ago that said I've got a job as a team captain on a new panel show called Would You Believe It? WOOD.
Yeah.
Really, probably the worst joke I've ever come out with. And the amount of people, because there's that many panel shows, took it seriously, just getting like, oh, congratulations. No, it's just a joke. It's a joke.
Do you use the Twitter a lot? Or?
Yeah, I do. There's a lot of pressure to use Twitter.
It's kind of a new...
Yeah, you've got to... you're worried every time you do something. Is that mundane? Am I going to get abused for that? There's a lot of pressure on it. There's a lot of silly tweets on it as well. Like people, I've just had a cup of coffee.
Some people use it, I think, very well. And some people don't.
Some people use it to self-publicise. And that's a good thing, but also gets annoying when every second tweet you read some people are telling you where they are, what they're doing, where the tickets are on sale, and just thinking, alright, okay.
You kind of want a bit of content, and it's great for content.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way, sort of entertaining little tweet, trying to be funny in those 140 characters.
It's dangerous when you've had a drink.
Right.
Which I found out, a few weeks ago, actually, funny, we were talking about Chortle before, actually. I ended up tweeting, not abuse, but having an argument earlier. I was about 4 o'clock in the morning over here. An argument with Steve Bennett on Chortle. Someone about his reviews in Australia. But I was hammered, and I was reading the reviews he was putting up, and I was just trying to say, don't put them all over the. It's a bad review.
Right.
A worldwide thing like Twitter.
You don't want them to.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't. I mean, I shouldn't have been doing that anyway. It was 4 o'clock. I was hammered.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
That's what Twitter's dangerous. You should have a breathalyzer on it.
Those things can happen. Yeah. I mean, so are you worried about reviews really then?
From big sites like Chartle's a massive site now, and their reviews just stay around forever, and it's the first thing that ever comes up when anybody does a Google search of your name. So a bad review from them is essentially bad for you.
It is difficult just because it is subjective. And
it is. Listen, I've had good reviews, I've had stinging reviews. The ones I don't like are the lazy ones. They've not even listened. I mean, the worst one I had was somebody called me Peter K-esque, which was they'd stopped listening. They'd just seen Northern bloke, and they've not even listened to anything I've had to say, which is I don't like that. Apparently, if I do a bit of banter, it's Northern banter. It's not just banter. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, do you like pies? Do you like whippets? Do you like what? I don't get that.
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you're a certain nationality, it happens with posh. I mean, not nationality, different accents. It happens with posh people.
Yeah.
Whenever someone posh comes out, they're Michael McIntyre. Whenever someone northern comes out, they're Peter Kay.
Yeah. It's annoying.
It's just you think people would look beyond that.
Yeah.
But for some reason they don't.
Yeah. It's like now as well. I imagine I feel sorry for if there's any young Scottish comics coming through. It might be slightly dark. Oh, trying to be like Frankie Boyle. They're not.
And also, I think comedy reviewers sometimes they don't, especially Edinburgh. I mean, because it goes crazy comedy for a bit. They send up a lot of people who don't know enough about the circuit.
Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, I mean, the insult they like to throw at you up there as well is if you make your living off the circuit, they like to throw that in the first paragraph of the review. That circuit comic. They always do it loads, don't it with me? Don't it loads circuit comic. Yeah. Well, why? What does that matter? I'm not allowed to be up there. I'm not because I'm. You seem to. You can't win. It's like you get treated. Because you make your living off it, it's like you'd be treated if a carpenter turned up at a craft fair that was for people with I don't know, special needs, and all right, okay, well he can't get involved because he's actually done it before.
Yeah,
it's like how these kids have a go on.
It's a special circumstance.
Yeah, Edinburgh, but I'm not doing it this year.
Oh, were you not?
No.
Okay. See, because I saw your show last time.
Yeah.
It was. I thought it was great because you had a theme for it.
You're right.
It was quite a loose theme, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was the end of the world, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And what do you do? But is that the only place that exists that hour? Do you take it?
No, I've not been taking it anywhere. It's difficult to tour. The World and his wife's touring at the minute, and his dog as well. And unless you're a name, there's no point doing it. Just getting people in.
It doesn't happen.
No.
But I mean, the way you're branded at the Comedy Box, it almost does look a bit like Mick Ferry on tour.
Yeah. Well, I think it does that with all his actors.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Even though there are other.
Yeah, I mean, I take the gigs. It's not down to me how they're advertised.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was going to do a tour, I think I'd only do one night in Bristol.
But I mean, it's something you maybe want to do in the long run.
I'd like to, yeah, of course I would. Yeah, I think nearly every comic would, and if you don't, and of course you do. Yeah, I'd like to.
Although I mean, there are some people who are just so happy on the circuit that what they love is talking to people on the circuit. It's that.
Oh yeah, there is a camaraderie to it, and there is there's a lot of bonding goes on. Yeah, and I've made it's weird. It's because of stand-up. I've made friends from different walks of life I would never have encountered before, or who I ever believed I could actually be friends with before I even started. But yeah, it's fascinating.
It's something you can lose, isn't it?
Oh yeah, if you're constantly touring, yeah, definitely, yeah. But I think the right balance would be do a tour and then do the circuit as well, half the year as well. Get a lot of materials together for another tour.
So is there a reason you're not doing Edinburgh, or
Financial.
purely financial?
Yeah, purely financial. Yeah.
It's tricky, isn't it? So it's just...
I've done 3 years on the truck.
Okay.
And I'm learning how to drive instead, and I'm going to buy a car.
Oh, really? Now, because that's a point, isn't it? Because you've never driven, but wasn't that because you were an environmentalist?
That was a joke. Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah,
that was a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't because I was really. You actually believe that?
That's
That's the reason. No, I used to use that as just an argument ender, because when you get to my age and you can't drive, people do think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
They look at you like you're a freak. So I used to just say, no, I'm an environmentalist. that used to end it, because nobody wants to get involved in a conversation with an environmentalist.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if you ever noticed that, but that's a great way of ending any argument.
Well, it's something you've got to bear in mind. So it's just something you didn't get around to.
Just that stubborn. I've had a provisional license since I was 17, and
took lessons before.
No.
No.
Stubborn. Just that's. I knew I had to do. I knew years ago I should have done it. I can be a bit stubborn about things like stupidly, I got it in my head that I wasn't going to drive, so I thought, right, well that's it, I won't drive.
It's difficult, yeah. I mean, I had a few lessons where if it goes badly, and then I'm like, right, I'm never doing it.
Really? Oh, can you drive?
Sorry?
You can drive?
Yeah, I can drive.
How many lessons did you have?
Actually, quite a few, because I made the mistake of stopping. I had about 6, then I stopped for over a year.
Wow, why?
Well, it was just sort of circumstantial.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and then kicked back into it, but then you think you should be better than you are, and you get a bit cocky. I failed my test twice, actually.
Really?
But I think, it probably makes you a better driver.
Yeah, well, I'm under pressure because my missus passed first time.
Has she?
Yeah, she passed first time quite a few years ago. But,
well, they say all the best drivers pass second time.
Well, that's what they say, but when I get my test booked, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm doing it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone. The time that I passed, I didn't tell anyone.
Good.
But the 2 times before, I told a few people, and I think it might have been the pressure of that. But I mean, how do you get around for gigs? Is it literally the train?
Trains, planes, and automobiles. It basically is that. Yeah, getting lifts off people, trains. Yeah, never had a problem getting to a gig. I had problems getting back.
Okay.
Yeah, I've spent many a night on train stations and all sorts of things. Yeah. So I mean, it's sort of like you meet a lot of like new comics who are starting all the time, and their excuse for not gigging anywhere is the fact that they can't drive, which is not an excuse.
No.
I always tell them, I say, well, I did it. There's a lot of comics who never drove.
And also, if you're gigging in a city, it's bad places for cars, really.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people take the train.
Yeah, I work in London a lot, and I don't understand the point of owning a car in the centre of London. What is the point? I mean, the transport system is fantastic there, so...
It always surprises me when people complain about London transport.
It's fantastic. I mean, where I'm from Manchester,
amazing.
you try getting a bus after midnight, you've been lucky in some places, you know what I mean? Just what I hate about this country is, though, why between every major city is the last train you can get about 11 o'clock at night? Why aren't they running all night?
It's strange, isn't it? And especially being a jobbing comic.
Yeah.
I mean, 11 o'clock is early.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You've not even finished then, so you usually find you're doing something. So that's why, hence, you end up staying at quite a few dodgy B&Bs around the country.
Okay. Yes, but you're staying in a very nice hotel.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. Do you get the train up then?
No, the missus come down for the weekend, so she drove down. So we drove down.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's not so bad. Now, how is it travelling? Does she come with a lot?
A few times, yeah, every now and again. Yeah, it's reasonable distance.
And does she see the shows as well? Or
she does sometimes. I think she stopped listening a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's difficult, isn't it? Because she lives with you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's the common question you get asked all the time. Are you like that all the time? No, you wouldn't have friends. if I was like that all the time, I wouldn't. I'd be annoying. I'd annoy myself.
But I mean, is there an aspect of it? Is there sort of... Because it is you to an extent on stage, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm genuinely a bit grumpier in off stage. Things things wind me up more, and I've got to a stage the last few years where I've decided I'll speak out about things now I don't like. Like one of the things that my biggest bugbear, was part of my show last year, was the receipt underneath the change. I'll mention that now. I won't take it. I'll just keep my hand out.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, definitely. People who jump queues, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
I'll tell people on the train if I can hear the music come out of their headphones, I'll tell them to turn it down.
Yeah.
I've got to that stage. I know I'm going to the next 10 years of my life I'm in danger of getting punched quite a lot. But I've got to a stage I just don't like rude people. And I've realised sometimes I'm probably on the verge of being rude myself by pointing it.
But at least it comes from a good place, you know. Only rude to rude.
It does, but I do have a few things that wind me up which nobody else can understand why I'm getting annoyed about. Like when you go for a meal and they come over and ask if everything's all right. Not really. You're halfway through a mouthful. They always pick up on you. Oh. Also, as well, I get really annoyed when say there was 4 of us now having a meal, and so what you having? Oh, a starter, and so. I quite like the idea that somebody's made the decision. Well, what's everybody having? And then if he speaks first, I'll say, right, he's going to order for everybody else. But then if somebody jumps in, then I get, why are you doing that? Let him talk. I know it's a stupid thing, but that can ruin my. Or this, you're having a meal. I hate this. Yeah, so it won't be a minute. Hang on, you're in my company.
What's that about?
Stop being rude.
Yeah, but I mean, do you try and incorporate that in your stand-up, or do you try and keep it separate?
I try and keep it separate.
Because
there
are quite a lot of people who do that.
Oh yeah, definitely, and do it well. But I struggle with making it funny because I get angry about certain things, so I don't. So it doesn't come across as being that funny.
And unless you're going to go overly angry like Rob Gilbert or something, it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's epitomised the whole furious anger about tiny things.
Yeah.
And he's done that so well.
Yeah, brilliantly, yeah.
But a lot of people try and do it, and it's not. It just comes across as moaning, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. When I've tried doing it, I just sound like I'm whinging for no reason.
Well, it was something I noticed about your Edinburgh show is that you did make an effort to be quite, especially at the end, your game show.
Oh, right, yeah.
That you made quite an effort to be quite happy, and you're quite relaxed on stage as well.
It's a bizarre thing. It really does sound like it's a horrible thing to say, but I'm actually more comfortable there than I am here. Because you're sort of in. For whatever the time is, from 20 minutes to an hour or an hour plus, you're in charge of your own time.
Yeah.
And I am relaxed. I enjoy doing it. I like being in the company of people anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not good on my own.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So it's that acceptance thing that
a couple of years ago in Edinburgh I decided to get my own place because I never lived on my own. So I thought for a month I'll have my own place. And I was climbing the walls after a week. Yeah.
Really?
It was going weird. I was getting weird. I got home one night. I was drunk. And I woke up. I got woke up in the morning and I opened the fridge. And in the fridge were my shoes and a hat. And then on the table there was 8 cups which I'd filled to equal levels with beans.
That's something quite
critical. Well, it was because I spent then 10 minutes searching the flat thinking somebody else must have been in the flat. So I'd done that. But it was all bolted from the inside, so...
That's crazy. I mean, so just going out and seeing people around isn't enough. You need people to live in your house.
Basically, yeah. I don't have to talk to them. Just the fact that I know they might be in the next room. That's what I like.
It's the company thing.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
I mean, how long? Because you say it's the place you're almost most happy. How long was it? Like a fish to water in that you were always that kind of relaxed and you always.
No, I wasn't that. I think the first time I ever did it, I was absolutely hammered when I got on stage. I don't even remember how it went.
But is there a feeling that it's the right place for you? That it feels right, even though it might not be going excellently.
No. I've got all things wrong that I shouldn't be doing it. I'm not thick-skinned enough. I don't take criticism well. I don't, so I've been quite sensitive as well. It is. So I'm all of, but yeah. I just like the fact that you're in chat, and if it's not going well, you can cut it short. You can just say but
I mean, is it easy enough to do that? Just to go from I'm stopping it there.
It's actually, you get to it's bizarre one. The more comics you speak to, you'll when you very first time you die in your ass, it is the worst feeling in the world, and it doesn't get better. The feeling's still bad, but the way you deal with it gets better, and you get to a stage where the gig's not working, but you've still got to fill the amount of time. It sounds really strange, but you start to have fun with the fact that you're actually dying. And sometimes that can really bemused and cried. They can get really angry. Why is he not taking the hint? We don't like him. Why is he laughing at everything he says? Why is it? So yeah, I just go a bit weird.
It's the whole playing with the failure.
Yeah, basically, and which can be quite fun. And I don't like seeing comics struggle because I know what it feels like. But when you see a comic who's dying but going down at his own pace, if you know what I mean, with his own, who's just having fun with it, and that's really enjoyable to watch. And that's usually when you can hear just only comics at the back of a room laughing, and when a crowd going, "Why are they laughing? This guy's stinging the place out." And you want to say to him, "No, you don't actually realise how funny he's actually being at this moment. You don't actually realise how." Yeah.
Is there a thing of basically you have to have a year of dying in order to be a good comedian?
God, a year? I'd pack in if you die for a year. A full year of dying? That'd be horrible.
Well, I heard something that, you've got to... Maybe not
There's
a year of dying.
There's so many theories. There's also this... Have you heard this one, the 10,000 hours of practice? Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
About any skill, 10,000 hours of practice. Really? Alright, okay. Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get to a point where you were very happy?
When I started out, I was actually stuff I was doing was, I don't like the term, but it would be classed as being quite surreal. I was quite off the wall.
Yeah.
And which I still try and retain an element of that because it's what I like. And I still try and keep an element running through any stuff I do, but I was totally off the wall. And
yeah.
so a lot of gigs were a struggle rather than a joy, just to amuse people. But then, and I was worried. I realised I was getting to a stage where I was only entertaining. There's a room of 50 people, only 10 of them, and which is quite good. But I just knew I wanted to do it for a living from the first time I did it. So I wanted to get good as quick as I could to start getting paid for it, basically, so I could pack in the day job.
When did you start?
I started in '98.
So how old were you?
I was 29.
29.
Yeah.
Which is, by today's standards, very late in a way.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
So, and you'd been an admirer of the comedy scene before.
I'd never even been to a comedy club before I'd actually got on stage.
Yeah. See, that's strange. There's either people that love comedy from an early age and then get into it, or total ignorance. I don't see much in between.
It wasn't ignorance. I knew of it. I knew there was, but I thought the only place when I live in Oldham, just outside of Manchester, I actually thought the only place I'd ever heard of was a comedy store in London.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anywhere else existed. But it was only when you started doing it you realise that there's hundreds of clubs, hundreds of places around the country where you can go and do it. I didn't know that, and I went to. From Bucket, I heard an advert on a local radio about anybody could go down on Monday night and try it. So I thought I'll go down and try it. Got on the bus, wrote 5 minutes of material on the bus. And that's how I my first 18 months were really weird because I thought you had to be different every time you were on stage.
Oh, do different material?
Yeah, like it was the same crowd everywhere in the country, yeah.
And did you?
Yeah. So I tanked a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't have a year of dying on my arse though, but I'd have packed in, but I tanked a lot, yeah. And it was only when a comic in Manchester called Tony Burgess took me aside after about 18 months and said, "So why don't you just keep all your good material together?" Because I said, "Yeah, but that's cheating. I keep seeing other acts do that, and that's not right, is it?" No, he said, "That's how it works." Like,
you work on an act, but then I suppose you got loads of material from that.
Yeah,
I
found some of it not so long ago, and I can't make any tail of it because I don't write everything out. I've got a terrible habit. I get reminded of my own material. I'll get an actor that's in for ages. So, "Do you still do that thing about?" I say, "What thing?" And he'll say, "You do it." And I say, "How did it go?" And I have to say, "How does it go?" And he'll tell me. I go, "Oh no, I forgot about that. How did I do it again?" And I have to write down how I forget. Yeah. So yeah, I just tend to write down a couple of words.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why when I write down anything in the middle of the night, I can't make it until in the morning. I stopped doing it. wake up, it could be a list of words.
Just because it's just in the moment,
Yeah.
you think of something funny, but then it's it's passed off as. Well, thank you very much.
No
for
problem.
coming. Your handshake, and good luck for all your shows and future.
Yeah, and my tour.
Driving.
Rather than driving, yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, we're talking about the financial thing. Let's put it in perspective. The money I've lost in Edinburgh the last 3 years, I could be driving a bottom of the range Mercedes.
Really?
Remember that, kids? When you're planning Edinburgh?
Puts it in perspective.
Yes.
Jeez.